think I'm live. Anywho. It's been a while, so I wouldn't know. Lollers. Just getting it on my phone just so that I can see that I'm live. It says I'm live. Oh, turn down the volume. Goodness me. 5 folks. What's going on there then? Hello. How's the old diddle diddle? I don't know what the feed's like. I just did a hangout with Kat and gave her a bit of a quick wood turning bowl lesson, just on how to use her scraper and bowl gouge, because she was having a little bit of difficulty there on. I got a new fandangled thingy here, and I'm just trying to. Sorry about the mess of the workshop. It's all over the place. I've not been using it much, so I'd actually forgotten that I left it like this the last time I was in it. How is everybody? Okay, let's see who we got. We have 15. What's that all about then? Red, how are you? Anna, Wayne, Sarah, Tracy, Glyn, how are you, boss? Christopher, Becky, Daniel, how are you? You're all very welcome. Sorry I've not been on the YouTubes very much lately. It's kind of a weird time of year for me. I get the summer off. So from the end of June to the end of August, I get 2 months off of work, because I work in a special needs school with special needs children, and they get summer holidays and vacation. And as a special needs assistant, I get that time off as well. And I always kind of hope to plan to get a bit more time in my workshop and stuff like that. But also, I've got a big family. I've got a lot of children, and they're off, so they need to do stuff. So I have to do a bit of balancing. But this year, whatever went wrong, it didn't work out too well for me, and I didn't get as much time in the workshop as I wanted. Now, I did a couple of shows and stuff with Glenn, and we did the whole Soph thing, which was brilliant. Ooh. Hi, Eloy. Which was brilliant, but you know, it wasn't my own shop and stuff like that. So it's good to be back in it. I've had a bit of a mental block when it come to making and stuff like that, but I'm trying to get back into it now. Like you've seen me on the podcast a couple of times, just to kind of keep my face in the community and stuff. And the lads were kind enough to ask me on. I'm on again on the podcast again later on this evening, the Makers International podcast. And yeah, so I said I'd jump on now and maybe just do a bit of turning. I've got half a bowl there that's just an old rough one that I had that I was showing Kat. Hippie Noodle, how to do. She had a few problems with orientation. She was moving her arm all over the place, and I just wanted to show her to anchor herself properly when she's turning, and she'll find it a lot easier. So yeah, so I think I'll do a bit of turning. But what shall I turn? I've got about an hour. Was it 7:30 now? Yeah, I've got about an hour that I can quickly mess with something. So let me see what people are saying. Oh my goodness, I've been waiting forever. Tracy, I missed you too. How are you, Eloy? Long time no speak, brother. Oh, Glenn, that's a bit harsh. So how's the feed anyway? Because I'm in my workshop and it can be a bit scatty at times, but it's because during the summer the trees bloom and get leaves and they look all pretty and all that, but they also block my direct signal to the local area. So you're still working on the house, Eloy. It's looking good though. I've followed along the bits and pieces you've been doing. I bet you're not half as tired as Glenn Senior is. Did you know Glen Senior's got a new global headquarters now? Very fancy. Feed seems good. Oh, that's all right. Good. Right. So, what do you want me to turn? Has to be something very small, obviously. My body went a bit into shock because I started turning a bowl. I don't do many bowls. Yes, Paul, back in the big shop. I got internet here a few months ago, but it's been sketchy on and off. It's just Irish internet. I mean, we won't even go there, but I love being here. But I do have to travel 15-minute drive from home. I know that doesn't sound much, but do you know when you get in from work and you sit down and you have a cup of tea and you have something to eat, and then you have that, I'd like to make something, but I've got to get back in the car and I've got to drive to the workshop. It's a lot different than just being able to walk out into your workshop and do a bit and able to just jump back in and get a cup of tea and stuff like that. You know, it's I shouldn't complain. I'm lucky to have what I have, but just when it comes to get up and go, sometimes it get up and goes because you don't feel that push to go when you don't have to, you know. So yeah, a spindle mage with a scraper. Oh, hold on. Calabash bowl with a scraper. Good. That's a good point, Red. Yeah, and I could do that because I finished quite a good time. Oh, cut my hand already, and I haven't even done anything. That's a good point. I could just drive straight to the workshop. That might actually be the way around it. Yeah, might try that. I never even thought about that because you're always kind of. I'm under the thumb with the wife as well. Get home as soon as you can. Right. Let's see what we can play with. Diddly I'm going to take this bowl off though because my body will go into shock doing a bowl. I don't do many bowls. Maybe I should do more bowls. I get to show off Yorkshire grit a lot better then. Let me move you guys over here. My wife has got about as much interest in making as, let me see, what would be a good example? My wife has got as much interest in making as Glen Senior has of joining the Chippendales. There you go. Chippendales, just in case you don't know, are a group of lads that do striptease. An Easter egg? We might do a Halloween. We'll do something Halloween. It's coming up to Halloween soon. A witch's broom. Yeah, that'd be a quick one. Could do. Move the camera. Move the camera on the left hand side. Tap up on. I got this fandangled doodah here that I can do this. It's really cool. Remote control. Stop. Hippie noodle in the house. Why aren't you practicing, Catherine? Cat. Kitty cat. Why are you not practicing? So, okay. Easter egg. Lynn's calling me a got. Where did all your tools go? They're all here on the side. They're all here. Don't worry, Tracy. I haven't got rid of them. They're all on the side. The last time I was in here, I was practicing. Trying to turn a snowflake, which I'm still trying to master. I'm nearly there, but the last one I did, I broke everywhere. So her kids need fed. Okay. So what we're going to make? Yeah, so I've got all my tools. They're just laid out over here on the workbench behind the lathe. So don't you worry about that, Tracy. I have them. Yeah, the snowflake. It was a good challenge. It is a good challenge. I'll give Dave that. It is a good challenge. Right. Oh, why did I take that off? I could have left that in there. See how out of practice I am. See how out of practice. Trigger's new broom. It was only the handle that was round, wasn't it? On Trigger's broom. And did you know that Trigger's broom isn't actually Trigger's broom anymore? Trigger's actual first broom, his actual very first broom, only lasted 2 episodes. And then someone accidentally stood on the handle and broke it. So they had to get a new handle. So Trigger's broom was only actually ever existed, the original one only existed for 2 episodes. There's a piece of useless information for you. So I'm thinking I'm going to do more live feeds from now on. Pretty much like Mr. Brainfizz does. I love his live feeds. They always give me something cool to watch. He's got it going on. He's getting a good following now on the live feeds, which is good. It's good to see. And when you drop that on your foot, that's quite sore. So we'll knock up a quick broomstick, shall we? Shall we do that? A quick broomstick, if we can. Live all the way. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I'm not a fan of the editing. I know I've kind of got used to doing editing and and stuff like that, but I like the interaction. I like the interaction of people, and I like people being in my workshop with me and joining in with stuffs. Right, find a piece of all together now. Wood. Are we going to make a mini broomstick, like a little ornamental hangy broomstick, or we're going to make a biggish one? We'll just make a mini one for now. Excuse the noise. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to mute for a second. There you go. Sorry about that. Just had to use the chop saw. Full size. Yeah, Glenn. Not for my first debut back to stardom. I don't think we'll do that. We'll just do a little ornamental one. I've only got just over an hour before I have to go on the podcast. So I'll move the camera in a second, by the way. You're not going to be looking at my armpit all the time. And just think yourself lucky there's not smelly vision either. So I've just got a bit of whatever this wood is. I think it could be poplar, but I'm not 100% sure. That's awful bad language, Glim. Wash your mouth out, young man. You know there's ladies present. And they all buy your product as well. So, mind you, that was my fault because I approved it. I could have blocked it. Well, hello, Pam Pam. How are you? Well, do you know what? It's lovely to have so many people joining me on my live show because I was starting to wonder that people might have forgotten me, who I am, not being on very often. Let me put the camera around the back here. Do you know what? It's amazing how guilty you feel when you're not around. It's pretty amazing how guilty you. Oh dear, get that lead in the way. Okay. How's that? Never forget me. Ah. I was wondering how many people would forget me. Yeah. Well, you know. Um, well, the good news is I hit over 1,000 followers on Instagram, which is fantastic. I suppose really I should do some kind of giveaway on that. Yeah, that's cool. So, a broomstick. Do you know what I need to do first before I turn this? Now I've got my center marks. Is let me think. Yeah, I need to go over to the, dare I say it, Jamie Page scroll saw. I'm gutted not being able to turn much. Got plenty of wood, but it's all wet, so it looks like I'm going to have to wait a while. Have you not got somewhere dry you can put it, Tracy? No? Yeah, I am a bit of a virus. Sorry about that, Daniel. Right, I'm going to use a scroll saw here. I'm just going to, I'll show you what I'm going to do in a second. I'm just going to mute you for a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Think of any questions you'd like to ask me. And I shall be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Okie dokie. That was going really well until I broke the blade. So all I've done there is I've just cut slots in the back of the blank. I'll show you, just picking them out at the moment. It will do for this quick demonstration. I think that's how I did the last one anyway. Does everybody remember the witch and the broom that I did? So I've just basically just cut lots of slots in there like that. Break those out of there like that. I might have to cut it a bit more later on with a saw, but that's kind of what I've done there. Just kind of cut some rough, just freehand cuts out of it. That's it, just like that. Now it needs to go back between centers. Now obviously this is going to open up slightly, but I've still got enough meat on the end to put my tailstock against, and that's going to end up being kind of the brush end, hopefully. Thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, you can give me thumbs up, but I'm not really bothered about that kind of stuff. You know me. As long as you're here, it's all that matters. All right, we're going to go with the spindle gouge. It is a 3/8 spindle gouge, I believe. And we're going to go for it. I'm going to find my wheel. There it is. All cast. Kind of make a kind of brush shape. Can you all see that all right? You can, I think. And we're just roughing it down for now. It's you can use a roughing gouge if you want. Spindle gouge just does the job just the same. That's what it's for, after all. You can use it as a scraper, just like that. You can get really rough with it. Now, I don't want to go too thin with it, because what we're going to do is, if we can, is put a bit of an off-centered kick in the middle of it. Give it more broomsticky look. Now that's just vibration where it's getting thinner. To do with touching up my gouge. Got to about there. Right, I'll just catch up on what y'all saying. Now you can see it's getting kind of the rough shape, kind of getting that kind of broomsticky shape. See what you're saying. If we could all do that for each of us, that would be great. Oh, what? Brilliant. Thank you for sharing, guys. That's cool. Oh, Pam Pam's doing router work. I'll keep the wood square. Many parents of kids that play Minecraft would know then. Yeah. God bless Minecraft. Eloy's trying to get me to sing Elvis. Haven't seen me turn for ages. Yeah, no, it's been too long. I really should do more of it because that's kind of what I do. Lollers. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and get a bit of a kinky kink in the stick by moving the headstock end up. Not much, but enough to put a bit of a. Do you know what? I could even put the other end down so we could exaggerate it a bit more. There we go. Just putting it off-centered slightly. And what that'll do, hopefully, is it'll put like a little bit of a kick in the broom. It'll make it look more like a. Because witches' broomsticks are more like branches of trees. They're not a perfectly round stick. Here we go. And the idea is just to put like a little bend in it. And all this will be is kind of like an ornament that you could hang, I don't know, you could hang it from a doorway or on your porch or something like that. Just a little Halloween ornament. Now what we'll do is we'll just put like a little knot in the middle. Like that. Now I'm going from memory of the last one I did, which was last year, so I'm not sure whether this is how I went about it or not, but I think it was. A little knot in it here. See how that looks? There you go. So that's kind of, see, it kind of gives it a knot effect in the center. I'll zoom it in a second. Now we'll need to push it back the other way to the other extreme. So we'll go back there and then the opposite on the headstock as well. Being mindful that it's a bit weaker because I've cut the slots into it. It's easier than trying to cut it into the round, into it when it's round later on. So, which I learned the hard way. Okay, so now we carry on from the knot. I'm just going to take the first bit away and then I'm going to take a look at it and see, do I need to adjust it so that I'm not taking too much out. a traditional witch's broomstick gets kind of smaller towards the end as well, so we've got to put a taper on it. Let's have a look at that, see what it looks like. Okay, so you can see it's kind of got a bit of a kick in it. That's good. I just need to take a little bit more out here. And I'll bring this along to about here, and then we'll put it back straight, and that will give it like a bit of a twist at the end. And that's kind of the effect I'm looking for. It's a matter of blending it in so it doesn't look too obvious. There we go. Just rolling the tool round on, using my wrist and supporting it with my thumb and my finger against the tool rest. There we go. Now we're just going to come along a bit more. And we've got all our holes marked both ends, so we can put them back to where they were for sanding. At the moment we just want to get the right shape. There we go. Right, now I should be able to just straighten that up a bit now. Put it back in the straight position where we started off originally, so we're going to centers. Which is just there. There we go, and you can see it's kind of give it a bit of a knotty look. And now we should be able to just go straight with the rest of it and taper it down to the end. Cat's had to pack up now, too dark to see, even with the torch she found. Cheers, mate. Ah, poor cat. There we go. So now we're just going to go straight. Now again, we're going to just check to make sure we're following the right direction. Before we get too thin. Just want to taper that in. Let's have a look at that. Make sure that the knot looks about right. Okay, that's going to be cool. Yep, that's going to work out. So let's start reducing that down. So we can go thinner. And reduce this down quickly now. Just by using the edge and doing a shear cut. More aggressive cut. And then you can clean it up. This gouge does need a touch up. And these are kind of cool, these little Halloween ornaments. You can hang them. There you go. Do you see you got like the little hook there? I've just got to blend it in here, which isn't a problem. Yep, I'm liking that. I'll just get that little bit there with the sandpaper because I don't want to cut. Well, I might be able to cut into there a little bit more. Just checking my, yeah, that's all right, feed still. Don't want to go too thin, but it still will look okay because of the little digit. Yeah, that's perfect. That's grand. I'll get the rest of that with sandpaper. Just want to clean up around the back of this knot. Give that a bit of an effect too. Like so. Is everybody still there or are you bored yet? There you go. It's looking like a broomstick. Right, now we're going to work up the other end. Take just a small bit of shape into this. We don't need too much. And being mindful that if you go too deep, you could lose some bits. So I'm standing away from any parts that could fly off. Which did with the last one I did, I think. That's okay. See what that's looking like. Oh yeah, that's looking okay. That's cool. So right. Now I need to just put a bit of detail on here before I go too much. Oh, actually, I just want to see where my slots end. Oh, I got loads of them. That's okay. Because we've got to just give the detail of the brush end. So you've got like a collet that goes round and holds all the, I suppose it's straw, is it? I don't know. Like so. And give this a bit more detail here. You just keep going till it kind of looks broom-like. I think that's looking pretty much. The sound you're getting there, I don't know if you can hear it, it's just a vibration because we've gone thin in the middle. Nothing really to worry about. We'll try and flare this a bit more here. We might take this down a bit more, actually. That's what we'll do. It's a bit of an annoying noise, I'm sorry. There you go, I like that. And then maybe just a little bit more out the middle of this. Again, standing to the side because we could lose a piece out the center. That's all right. Whoop. I'll check that because we're getting a catch. Could be a bit sticking out. Oh no, that's all right. I don't want to go any thinner than that because we're spiky there now. That's cool. All right. That is basically a broomstick. Put a bit of clean up on this. Well, actually, that'll clean up with sandpaper. That's not too bad. I think most of that just needs sanding now. I'll do some scorching as well. What's up, Mr. Be Happy? John, how are you? So, let me just bring the camera over so you can see this. You know, what's that? How long's that taken? About half an hour, 3/4 an hour, maybe, not even, just to get that effect. That's, you know, it's a quick ornament. You can, I don't know if you can see the shape of it. Oh, hold on, let me get some support on it. There we go. You can see the knot in the middle. Now that's gonna look better in a minute when I scorch it. I'm gonna throw the blowtorch on it in a second and give it some depth. I kind of showed Kat how to use a blowtorch on a piece she made the other day. She did a Halloween. She did a really cool. For those of you who saw it on Brain Fizz's channel, Hippie Noodle Cat did a scroll saw 3 pumpkins, and she was just going to color it. And I just mentioned to her that if you scorch around the eyes and around kind of where all the cuts are, it puts depth into the piece and it gives it a lot more detail. And I'll show you that here now with this. But that's that. That's your basic shape for, you know, simples. Interesting look. Billy, hi Billy, how are you? Wow, 24 people watching. What's that all about? Dave Portal, how are you? Long time no speak. Bob Lee, how are you? Wow, everybody's in. Mitch, I presume that's Mitch. Wow, lots of people's. Right, so I'm just going to run a bit of sandpaper over this. Obviously, we've still got to part it off at the end, but we won't do that until we've sanded it up. I'm not going to go too mad with the sanding. This is only a demonstration. Well, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, how smooth does a broomstick have to be? I suppose the witch doesn't want splinters in her ass, and the cat needs a nice little perch to sit on. You know, luckily, I'm lucky. I don't know too many witches. I do very little sanding, but on a piece like this, where you've done a bit of off-centre fancy diggery, now I don't want to sand these where the transitions are here that I've done. I don't want to sand them too smooth because when I use the blowtorch will take any fuzzies away, but they'll also catch into the corners and it will define the knot that's in it a lot better. I hope. As many people turned a broomstick? Have any of you made scrolled, CNC'd, routed. Any broomsticks? I don't know if many of them get made for Halloween. I know a couple of witches, all right, Wayne, but we're not going to that. It'll still be gnarly. Oh, don't worry, it's still going to be gnarly. A witch's broomstick has to be gnarly. This is just literally just taking away any slight tool marks that might be left in it, and just shaping the whole thing in neatly. You know, you don't need to sand it into a showroom. I mean, how many broomsticks do you see in a showroom now, in all fairness? I suppose you'd see quite a few in a broomstick showroom. I'm just taking the squareness off of this, and again, it doesn't matter that there is a slight square spot on it. It's a broomstick. It gives it its shape, the character where the bristles are supposed to be. What's Matt saying? Oh, I'm not even getting into that, Matt. I was not getting into that, Matt. That's scary stuff. Now, if my scroll saw blade hadn't broken, if I could really be bothered to go over and change it, you could cut that a lot more. You could get some more cuts into it, but you get the idea of what it looks like. And like I say, this is only a quick jump on and do a quick demonstration piece. Okay, I'll get the blowtorch. The blowtorch, which is just here. Fire. Easy, Tiger. Easy. Whoa there, Tiger. Now, if this was one of them big, huge blowtorches, then you'd have to worry about getting rid of all your shavings and all this. Woo! Woo! Right? But the good thing about this is you can turn it right down to 1, so it's like a little pencil, and you can really control it well. So I'm just going to burn the knot. Give that a bit. Now I'm going to be sanding this back a bit in a second. Don't panic. And what this is going to do, it's going to accentuate where I've done the transitions. And then we're going to come along here. And it just gives it that, as whoever it was said, that gnarly look. Now I would advise, if you haven't got one of these tiny little controllable blowtorches, I would advise that you sweep up your shop before you light any large flamey instruments, as it were. There you go. See, that's given it kind of a gnarly, woody, broomy look, spooky look. And you can add as much colour into it as you want, or as little. I'm going to add a bit more into the knot, make it more gnarly. Bearing in mind that it is wood and it can crack, so try and kind of warm it up and then back off a small bit. Go in the back end of this. And just shade in the front. Just like that. And then we'll just add a little bit of colour into all the cuts. Just to make them pop out. I don't want to burn the where the straw would be, or whatever, the brushy part too much, because that's always a different colour. There we go. I think that's all right. There you go. This is poplar, I believe. It's a piece of poplar. And then I'm going to get some 240 sandpaper. 240. And just knock that back just a small bit, just to take any bristly whistles off that's been raised. You raise me up so I can sand the burnt bits. There we go. How are we doing for time? Oh, that's all right, we're good. I'm rushing. For those of you that don't know, the Makers International podcast is on this evening at 9:30, which is in about just over an hour's time. And I'm popping on to join the lads this evening for a bit of a chat. I don't think there's any particular subject on the Makers International tonight. I think it's just a free-for-all, talk about nothing type thing. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rub a bit of Yorkshire grit into here for some sanding, but also just to give it, make it a bit darker and give it a nice richer look. Sometimes you can use Yorkshire grit, and it's not only for the sanding smooth, but for colour and stuff, darkening the wood a bit. Do you know what? I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to put, because it's quite a dry piece of wood, I'm going to put some cellulose sanding sealer into it. That will also help it change colour a bit. If I can, oh, yeah, I can. Don't you just hate it when your lid seizes up? There you go. That'll just make the wood look a bit richer, and it will also make the scorch parts pop just a little bit. I mean, you could colour this too if you wanted to. I don't have the time this evening, but you could add a little bit of yellow or orange, or dark brown spirit stain into it, just to give it a bit. I mean, you could make it flipping green if you want. Oh, this smells good. It smells good, yeah. I'll come and have a look at the chat in a second, folks. Sorry now. I know it's a bit scatty, but hey, it's good to be back on air, if only for a brief one. There you go. That's made it kind of pop a bit, and then we'll get that to dry off, and we'll put some Yorkie grit on it. It's a rush job. You'd spend a bit more time on it if you weren't doing a quick live demo. Let's see who's there while it's drying off. All wood is poplar, yeah. Tracy's saying hello. Barry Dyer is there. Hi Barry. Billy Burt. Hi Billy. Has anybody else joined? Steve, Harneal Media. Harneal Media. I am a supporter of Makers Media Network. For those of you that are a maker and you're looking for a bit of support, there's a great community in the Maker Media Network. Just hook up with Steve Nealon. That's Harneal Media there. If you just click on the three dots. In fact, you can click on each other's dots at the side of each of their names. There's three little dots. If you click on there, it will say go to channel, and head over and subscribe to everybody there. That will help everybody else. That will help everybody out. with subscriptions and stuff like that. YouTube isn't an easy thing to do, so any support you can get from the community would be brilliant. Okay. Bit of Yorkie grit. Yorkshire grit is an abrasive paste. It is made up of there's micro stone like in there. It's broken down stone. I think it's pumice stone. And basically the way it works, and it's got some kind of wax and stuff like that. The ingredients are on the tin. And basically the way it works is it's a friction sanding paste, and you'll rub it on. Now this is going to be a bit wobbly when I do this, but it will do the job because we've done some off-centered. And it basically goes from 220 grit all the way up to about 1,000. And then there is a new product, which is microfine, Yorkshire grit microfine, which then takes it from 1,000 all the way up to a ridiculous amount. But it's a great, it's not a finish, it's a foundation for any kind of finish you want to put onto the wood. Okay, so I've just applied some of that on there, and we're going to fire the lathe up and just buff that off. Hi Katie, how are you? Good to see you. Turn it down a bit. Yeah, the microfine is great stuff, especially if you work with acrylics. If you turn acrylics, the microfine, Yorkshire grit microfine is fantastic for that. It really does bring up a beautiful shine. If you want to see demonstrations of how good it is, all you've got to do is head over to Pam Highland Boxes. She was there in the chat. She makes some beautiful stuff, and she's really demonstrated the microfine really well. And also Heath Knuckles. Heath Knuckles does a lot of resin stuff, you know, the spheres and stuff like that. He really has shown off microfine really well as well. Just bring up the thing. Thank you very much, Tracy. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much for that donation. I'll have a Guinness on you, no problem. Thank you. You're a darling. So now obviously you can't get as good a finish on this for when it's off-centered like this, because you're not getting as good a clean up on it, but it will give like a dark, rich look on the wood. I don't want to push too hard on the center either, because we've got the little didgeridoo. There we go. That looks all right. It's got a bit of a shine on it, and yeah, it's broomsticky looking. There we go. Right, now I'm just going to part it off at the front here. Turn down the front. And that should do us, to be honest with you, just for the quick demonstration. I'll show you what it looks like once I didgeridoo the dandy. Where's me? How's your father? Nope, that's the wrong one. I hate my tools being everywhere. I don't know what I was thinking doing this, leaving bits and pieces here and there. Right, here we are. So I'm just going to use the parting tool just to shape the very end of it, and then I can reduce it right down. I'm going to put like a little nubby nub on the end as well. And I can scorch and sand the very end of it as just to suit if I wanted to, if I really wanted to. So I'm just going to use the parting tool just down at like a a 45-degree angle and just use it as a shear cutter and get it down to somewhere close. Just laying the tool on its side and near enough like you would with a detail tool, and then that way you can get it almost down to nothing, just like that. Finish any detail I want to put on it. Might put like a little like that, and I can just run the sandpaper over that quickly just to make it a little bit smoother, get rid of any tool marks, just like that. And I can turn it off and get my blowtorch and just put a bit of scorchy scorch on the very end, just like that, just quickly. And I can get the Yorkshire grit and just rub a bit on there and finish off the end. Match it all in. And there you have her. You can just pop that off like that and get the sandpaper and just finish off that end. Easy as that. There you go. There's one broomstick. Simples. You can see it goes a little bit wonky in the middle. I don't know if I could put a piece of something behind it to make it. Let me see what I can do here. That show it off a bit better. Go. And you can put a piece of string at the end and this end, and it will kind of balance and hang wherever you want it. It's just something a little bit different. Good idea, Tracy. Thank you. Now, what you can do, if you want to, is you can drill a hole down through that end and kind of make it look hollowy. I mean, I could probably break out or get the Dremel, and oh, there's one there that can be broken out. Look, you can get the Dremel and you can score that up a bit more. You can even do it with a little handsaw. Try and get that bit out of there. But anyway, you can take out a bit more from the inside and make it look more like a thing. But like I say, my blade broke. I wasn't going to go, and it had done a lot of work, that blade. So as quick as that. That's, you know, they're a quick little job, nice for Halloween. I'm going to make a few of those and probably throw them up in the local shop and see the people want to buy them. Do you know what you could even do? What I've seen some people do is drill up the end before you shape it. When you've got your blank, drill up the end and slide a Bic pen. Do you know, like a normal Bic biro? Glue a Bic biro up into the end of that, and it becomes a funky broomstick pen. It's kind of cool, you know, novelty pen. So that's that. Easy. Let me bring the camera over and have a chat with you before we shut it down and I get ready for the podcast. Let me bring you over here, folks. If there's anybody else, if there's anybody there still, should I say. Well, that was fun. Sit down and put this yoke over here. Diddly 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 dee. It's over here. There we go. Well, how was that, folks? Here he is. One broomstick. It's cool. I just laid it in the dust over here, but yeah, that's cool. And I mean, you can use darker wood. You You can stain either that or the stick just to, you know, it would probably look cool if you made the brush look darker than the actual handle or whatever. But you can have as much fun with it as you want. So yeah, is this something that you guys would like to see more often? Do you know, I've been thinking about my channel a lot lately. When you're not on it that much, you tend to go back and look at see what's happening and stuff like that. And hi TJ, how are you? The views just weren't there. The last few videos I put up, I know they weren't turning related. Well, a couple of them were, but they were slightly different. But the views just weren't there. And when you're spending in and around 15 hours of turning it, filming it, editing it, and then putting it up onto YouTube, do you know, is it worth it when you get 200 or 300 views? When I could just jump on live and actually show the people that are interested. You can jump on, you can watch me do a live. I can actually talk through everything I'm doing. I don't have to edit it. I can explain what I'm doing. I can tell you the tools I'm using. We can have feedback and talk back. I just think the live is just the way to go. And I just don't think, just with the way my channel's going, that actually putting videos up is time friendly to me. I mean, I'm you know, I've got to hold down a job, I've got a family, and if I can just jump on and do a couple of lives each week, I think I'd much rather do that. I could even start getting guests on, doing a bit of a show, you know, and do it that way, and have a weekly show or a 2 weekly show. Myself and Rob Sumlin are going to get the Rob and Steve thing back together very soon. We're thinking maybe we're going to go down the podcast route with that, but not sure yet. Still talking to Rob. He's getting his feet back up now. He's very busy with Woodstock and stuff like that in Canada. So when that's all settled down, maybe we're going to work together. But what it's going to be is it's going to be a journey of our life channel. So we're going to go right back to the very beginning of when we met. We're going to put up little short clips of videos that we have when we were younger. We're going to do stories and stuff like that. So that's what that channel is going to be all about. It's going to be a cool kind of vlog podcast type thingy. So, Steve, what do you think about the contrast between YouTube Live and Facebook Live? Facebook's more targeted. Facebook, you've actually got friends that join you. YouTube, you have, especially when you're doing the whole editing and putting videos up, you have your core people, which is you guys, which is brilliant. You all come and you watch the videos, and that's probably where the 200 and 300 views are coming from, if I'm honest. The other 20,000 subscribers I've got, I don't know where they go, to be honest with you. I think they signed up to me when I was doing the mad CD turning and stuff like that, and it was a one-hit wonder, and then they went away. I mean, I might be wrong, but my views have just dropped right out of it, and it's just not, you know, YouTube's great for doing this kind of thing. It's a good platform if your internet's good as well. Facebook tends to be a bit more lenient with live feeds as well. The stream seems to be a lot more consistent and better and easier to get on. But you know, there's target audience on both, I find. The Daniel Britton, first live session I ever joined and totally loved it. Thank you. However, my wife is complaining that her dinner is late. Thank you, Daniel. That's very kind of you. Sorry if I've missed comments. They're flying by here. I didn't realize that I was getting. I didn't realize I had 25 people watching me. To be honest with you, it's pretty amazing considering I've not been on the scene. Thank you. And all smash that like button and you know, I mean, because in my shop and having a bit of fun, and that's what it's all about. You lose inactive subs after a year. Okay, yeah. I don't know. Am I still live? Seems to have dropped out. Oh, there we are. See, just when I start talking about that kind of stuff, it starts going funky. Yeah, Facebook Lives, the resolution is a lot better. Whatever it is about the software that they use, it's, I suppose YouTube is just like all video. It's having thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people going live and dumping videos on it every single hour. And, how can it keep up? Facebook, yes, has a lot of lives, but nowhere near what the YouTube's does. Instagram as well. I might start doing a couple of lives there. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Well, guys, thank you very much. You're all awesome. I'm going to spend the next half an hour cleaning up my shop because it's disgusting and I hate it looking like this. Tracy, when you see me on Makers International podcast, I promise all my tools will be back on the shelf, especially for you. Okay? Sorry about that. I know I'm lacking. Thank you, Barry. You're awesome. Yeah, it did go a bit doolally for a minute there, didn't it? Sorry about that. Okay, well, I'm going to go before the feed goes. But yeah, don't forget 9:30. That's in 20, about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, is it? 9:30. Makers International podcast. I'll be there saying hello and joining in with the lads, and we'll see you there. It's going to be a bit of a blast, just talking about anything, I think. So bring your questions. Head over there and say hi because the lads are doing really well. They're getting a good viewership, and it's good to see because they work hard. So yeah, I'll see you soon, guys. Thank you so much for joining, all 25 or 30 of you that were there. Thanks for the input, and I'm going to work on this now, and maybe I'll go back to doing my Wednesdays if you're all into that. Probably around about this time, I'd say, maybe a bit earlier. So thanks, guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Loves ya. Temple, boom.